He said they're
I
gonna
got
win 2 games to get the number one overall pick next year.
you saying everybody since all the Dallas teams getting the number one pick, does this mean the Cowboys gonna get it too? It's like, yeah, all right. It might be the opposite. It might mean we're gonna win the super. Is Jimmy Butler a superstar?
Cap, cap.
What? Oh, so Jimmy Butler not a superstar?
Wow.
I'm just saying. I ain't saying you did. Like perfect time. So with some would say up and down performance against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The question is stirred back up in the R2L chat. Is Jimmy Butler a superstar? We know they're not questioning this on the outside, but we want to bring you all into our world, and this is why we want you all to become members so you can be a part of these in-house debates that make it to this major platform here. And with Dave and Joe participating in a not heated but somewhat very very interesting debate about Julius Randle and Jimmy Butler. Both of these guys are going up against each other, which is kind of funny how it's happening. One played for the Timberwolves, so I thought he's going to be trying to get his get back, and the others just got traded to the Timberwolves, trying to prove that he is what some people would say a superstar. Jimmy Butler's here. He's now down 1-3 without one of those a few games without Steph, so we're gonna let that be known. But Dave, is this the time for people to be asking this question? Is Jimmy Butler a superstar?
We have talked about this before. Me, Joe, and Carl had a heated debate about this.
And Vaughn.
And Vaughn. And then what do you know? This season, Joe out of nowhere says Jimmy Butler's a superstar. So I'm like, whoa, hold up, Joe.
Stop the cap.
We said this all last season. We were arguing this down because if you look at what Jimmy does in the playoffs, you got to call him a superstar because he steps up when you need him the most. So are we basing this off of just this one series right here to where he's being asked to do something in a totally different system where he just got there? He's only been there for what, 20 something games maybe. You know, he hasn't been there that long. He's in a brand new system, different environment, not the same kind of a team, not the same culture, not the same coach. Coaching style is totally different. Are we saying that now he's not a superstar because he's had some games where he has not played his best or even played aggressive? Look at last night. Jimmy Butler had a James Harden-esque game. He shot the ball 9 times. 9 times. I don't understand it because it doesn't make any sense to me. How are you supposed to be a guy that got your joy back, but your joy ain't causing you to be more aggressive so your team won't get bounced out in the second round? I mean, you're down 3-1 to the Timberwolves, and yes, they are the highest seed, but it's not like they're the second seed and you're the 7th seed. They're 6, you're 7. Y'all are right there pretty much. So I don't understand what's going on with that. But for me, just for me, because I conceded this last year, I'm not going to change it. I said it last year that, okay, he's not a superstar. So I'm not going to change it now and say that he's a superstar. I'm not going to say that he is. But what I will say is if we're going to call other people superstars for what they do in the regular season and not in the postseason, then we should do the same thing for Jimmy Butler because what he does in the postseason is much better than what he does in the regular season because he does not do much of anything in the regular season for real, but he does everything in the postseason. Now, in this series, he is not playing like a superstar, but in the last series, didn't he have some superstar type games in the last series to get them past the Houston Rockets? Yes, he did. In the regular season, when he got traded to the Warriors, didn't he have some superstar like games? Yes, he did. So my thing is, I mainly want some consistency when it comes to Jimmy Butler and when it comes to basketball to the NBA period, because James Harden has great games in the regular season and goes missing in the playoffs. He'll have a game or two there where he plays great. But other than that, he'll have a game like Jimmy Butler had last night. He's done that multiple times We can go back to the last time we talked about James Harden. You can go on my show when I talked about James Harden. He's done this plenty of times. So I get it. And Jimmy Butler is an all NBA player. He's an all-star player. He's also a gold medalist. He has all of those accolades as well. He led his team to the finals twice without having another superstar on his team. So y'all tell me. I'm gonna concede and say no because I said this last year and I'm not gonna change it. But I want to hear y'all answer. That's what I want to hear.
You need use your own money, Cole.
Mainly Joe. That's what I really want to hear from is mainly Joe. Because I heard someone else say this in the chat. Blaze, I heard you say in the chat that Jimmy Butler is not a superstar. So I need to hear from someone else.
You trying to hear you on mute though.
I remember I came on here and mentioned Jimmy Butler superstar, right? And they stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, you know what? I think I lose it too loosely. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call him a superstar. And I knew it was kind of like on the spot take. That you kind of know what I'm talking about, right? I'm like, if I ask stuff on the spot and you just answer it and you think about it, like, you know what? I ain't put too much thought in it. Let me go back and look at some things. And I realized, like, the reason why I did not call him a superstar in the past, because he's not a consistent superstar. First of all, in the regular season, he's not a superstar. Okay. So is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is not a great player in the regular season, but catch him in the playoffs. Jamal Murray plays like a superstar. But would I call Jamal Murray a superstar? No, I won't. He's a great playoff performer. That's how I would call Jamal Murray. And I think Jimmy Butler is a great playoff performer, but would I call him a superstar? No, because he's too inconsistent. I'm going to take you back in history. The Lakers in the NBA Finals, right? Jimmy Butler, game 1, had 23, 25, 40, 22, 35. This is one of his best series. But then in the closeout game, he had 12 points. Brady shot the ball. And then against the Celtics, when they lost in game 7, he had 41 and 29. I mean, I was like, okay, Jimmy Butler. And then he followed that up with 8 points, 6 points, 13 points. It's like, yo, they lost in 7. He had great games, but they would have won a series if he just gave him one more game. Then he had 47 and 35. I remember that 47-point game. I remember he had on 3 games that was duds. And he don't get 13 and 8 points because he shoot poor from the field. He gets it because he only take like 5 shots. You're like, what are you doing? And then he turned around and have a 47-point game. And then last night was terrible because you had 20 points in the first game. Right? And then you had 17. Okay, Steph did the first game, Steph in the second game. Okay, cool. And then we asked you, Jimmy Butler, can he at least give? We had a whole segment. Can he at least give us a game? He has 33. Okay, cool. And Kuminga followed his lead. We're like, okay, Kuminga, okay, that's cool. I think Jimmy could give him one, and then he come out like Dave said and takes 9 shots and only have 14 points. And here's the problem with me with this. Here's the problem with me with Jimmy Butler. Last night was the least amount of free throws he shot this whole series. 5. He took more free throws in game 3 than he took field goals in game 4. Why is the aggression going down when your team needs you the most? And watch you come out next game and have like 35, 37. And people going to say, Jimmy Butler. No, where were you when we really needed you? There, you missing the quote. Jimmy Butler shows up when it needs to be, when you need him. Not all the time. Because what he does is he puts you behind the block a lot by not having these performances at the right time. And it's frustrating because he's like a guy where you call him a superstar, you're okay with it. If you don't call him a superstar, you're okay with it. But why is he in that gray area? It should be clear-cut superstar. But he's not a clear-cut superstar because of these moments he has and because of what he does in regular season. So the only playoff run I remember that he was good from start to finish. I mean, superstar from start to finish. I maybe the bubble, but I didn't go back and look at the bubble. But the year he lost to the Nuggets, that year when he lost to the Nuggets in the finals, he was a dead-on superstar from start to finish. We talking about against the Bucks, against New York, against the Celtics, and against the Nuggets. I mean, I don't know about the Nuggets. I don't think he did all against Nuggets. But you get my point. That run to the finals, he was a superstar. Outside of that, he's been like a roller coaster. The same thing we complain about Tatum, that's Jimmy Butler for real. But the reason why we highlight Butler is because Tatum, we expect him to be great because he is good in regular season. He is really a superstar. We know what he really is, but Jimmy Butler is not really a superstar. So when he does it, he gets the overhype. He gets the claim to fame that Tatum needs to deserve for real. They the same player for real. You think about it. Tatum be showing up. He's talking about 50-point game in the closeout game. Tatum has been good in closeout games. Tatum also has been low in critical moments. So has Jimmy Butler. So I'm gonna say no, he's not a superstar.
It's funny that you said that because as soon as you started talking, Marco said he's too inconsistent, and then J-Mo said I wouldn't call him a. I think what you're saying kind of sums up what J-Mo was saying right here. I wouldn't call him a superstar. He has no expectation or pressure from the media. He's an overachieving, bona fide playoff killer. Did James Harden have expectations?
Yes.
When he was with OKC?
No.
Nah,
so once he left, wait. So once he left, that's when the expectations hit? Yeah. Or did he have to start playing and prove it?
No, he became a superstar, and then expectations came. Mm-hmm. He became an MVP.
But what I'm saying is when he left OKC and he got to where did he go?
When he first got to Houston?
I don't think
he was like he
ain't had no expectations. He ain't had no
expectations. So he had to earn it, right?
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Jimmy Butler. When he left, he went somewhere else and he kind of earned his respect. It wasn't like once he left the Bulls, they was just like, oh, that's Jimmy Butler from the Bulls. He's gonna play some defense. Then he ended up going places and they started winning. And they was like, wait. I know Jimmy Butler from the Bulls, and he ain't playing like that. He actually out here leading teams. Because I remember Jimmy Butler with the Bulls. That's when the Wizards was good. And we used to beat up on Jimmy Butler. Now I look at Jimmy Butler and be like, I ain't little Jimmy from down the block no more. Jimmy might put hands on y'all. Leave him alone. But back in the day, the Wizards used to. Now we out here crying for picks. See how the world has changed? But anyway, is Jimmy Butler a superstar? Everything that you said, though, Dave, I got to say he is. I know he's too inconsistent, but when it's time to show up in the playoffs, that's when you need him the most. Everybody out here giving James Harden all this praise and saying, oh, he's a superstar, oh, he does this, but you know what he's going to do in the playoffs. You already know what's going to happen. It's just like you're going to become a shell of himself. He's going to have one good game, and then everything going to dissipate after that. Like Kawhi Leonard, it's more so with injuries. It's like he's going to have his game, but if he's healthy, you know what Kawhi Leonard going to do. He took a whole team to the finals on a bad back. Like he's still walking with that bad back to this day until he got them New Balances, but it's just one of those things that you can expect that Kawhi Leonard gonna do, right? Is Donovan Mitchell a superstar? Yeah, I can't see my guys backstage, but he's a superstar.
I would say he is, yeah.
So why can't Jimmy Butler be in that same ballpark? He's having some inconsistent moments. You talked about him having top seeds and all that.
I'm gonna tell you why a lot of people aren't going to agree with Jimmy Butler being a superstar. I mean, Joe just said it. He's inconsistent when it comes to certain stuff. Like the guys you name it, they are. You can at least point to regular season things and playoff things for both of them.
Yeah,
you can't necessarily do that with Jimmy. Now, the one thing you can give Jimmy though is. If you ask him, he's not gonna say he's a winner because he hasn't won a championship. Yeah, but I agree. But also, Jimmy did give the Miami Heat a number 1 seed when no one thought that they were going to do that. And I remember this year vividly, because I was the only person in my chat.
No, you said on R2L.
I know that, but what I'm saying is. I remember I said on R2L, but I also remember saying it between me. I think it was between me, you, Daryl, and Lamar. And I was like, I'm telling you, Miami is going to be a top 4 seed in the NBA. I said it. And they became the number 1 overall seed. And this is when we got PJ Tucker. I said, I'm telling y'all, when we get PJ Tucker is going to help us defensively, and that's going to charge us to be a top seed in the NBA. And who was the best player on the team? It was Jimmy Butler. Now, did he average 26 points per game? So I'm like, no, he didn't do that. because that's just not what Jimmy is. But throughout that playoffs, he got us all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and yes, he did come up missing in key games in that series. But also remember, in the bubble, when Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic both got hurt in the finals, Jimmy Butler averaged a triple-double in the finals. He was balling. But those guys were hurt. He didn't have any. That was Andre Iguodala was older. Jay Crowder was just a defensive player for at that time. Duncan Robinson was okay-ish. Tyler Hero, that was his rookie year. So there was a lot going on at that time. And then the next year, it was COVID. The Lakers and Miami didn't do well in the playoffs that year. They both got bounced in the first round. So, but I can point to multiple instances and multiple series where Jimmy Butler has taken over, and he was the sole reason why Miami won certain series. So I can see why some people say he's a superstar, but I can understand people say he isn't.
He's in a gray area. I will say that year y'all went number one. He did miss some games though. I felt like that was I give him credit because I do think he was a winner, but I give a lot of credit to Eric Spoelstra that year because y'all were low managing a lot that year. I know Jimmy missed a lot of games that year. I remember that, and y'all won. I got the number one seed. I was like, dang. I feel like they didn't even try to get it and they got it because Spo did a really good job.
We definitely tried that season. That season, we had one of our best offensive seasons altogether. I think we were a top.
What year was that? Sorry,
I think that was 2021. Yeah, that was
the first year as well. You're right.
That was the year right after. That was the year right after COVID, and that's when we got PJ Tucker. And that was the team. That was a year when we had one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league, one of the best defensive teams in the league. The only thing is rebounding, but we've never been a good rebounding team, honestly, because Bam is the center, so we haven't really been a great rebounding team. But we were a good 3-point and a good defensive team that year. So,
like, look, that year, right? Jimmy Butler played 57 games. He played 57 games. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Bam played 56. They basically missed like 30 games almost. Y'all number one seed. Spo did a really good job that year.
He did.
So to close this out right quick, let me just ask. As of today, Joe, is Jimmy Butler a superstar?
You gonna say no?
No, I think he's, but I'm not mad at somebody that say he is. I'm not gonna argue down. He's in that gray area. I think he's good enough to get out the gray, and we should be like superstar. Yeah, because if you say Donovan Mitchell superstar, here's a weird part about Jimmy Butler. Okay, Donovan Mitchell superstar. Yeah, I think he's a superstar. Jimmy Butler, I don't know. Okay, if Jimmy Butler led a team and Mitchell led a team, who you got winning the series? I got Jimmy Butler team winning. It's weird. It's a weird situation. Like in the playoffs, I trust Jimmy Butler way more than Spider. I do, even though Spider is one of the top leading scorers in the playoffs. But what Jimmy Butler brings to the rest of the guys around him, Jimmy don't have to score 30 or 35 to make an impact. I think Spider kind of guy has to, although he is pretty a good leader too. But Jimmy Butler's at a different level. Like,
it sounds like you answered your question though.
He's a great playoff performer, and he's a great leader. I gotta see consistency. And Donovan Mitchell, he's not an automatic big either to me. He's not an automatic big.
Okay,
he's not. But
he not automatically a superstar to you?
I don't think so, man. Like in the regular season, like he has the best record, but he was averaging like 24 points a game.
That's shocking. He's being consistent.
That's shocking.
Like think about it, Dave. Like what has he done in the regular season? Team success. What else?
That's it, really.
He had no personal accolades. He even won Rookie of the Year. Shout out to Ben Simmons. Still a year late, but shout out to Ben Simmons.
I mean, he's what, all NBA player. It's all-star.
I mean, not first team. Yeah. I don't think he ever won first team. He might get it this year though, because they record.
Yeah, they might give it to him because of the record.
Because they record, Luka was hurt half the year for real. I mean, he gonna get it because they record.
Yeah, he gonna get it because of the record.
Oh, they might give it. I'm gonna say it might be Brunson. I don't know.
Nah, it's gonna be him. He got number one seed, bro. And we did it playoffs. We looked at the playoffs. It would be Brunson, but it's gonna be him. They're number one seed. But SGA got to take it.
Oh yeah,
for sure.